Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to continue this Makeup 101 and we are going to talk about concealers. Now, this is almost as intense as foundation because they make concealers for everything. They make it for blemishes, they make it for under eye, they make it for color correcting, you name it, they make it. Obviously all marketing, and some stuff can be used as something else. And some are completely different. So today we'll start off with liquid concealers. Liquid concealers are kind of a universal concealer. You can use those for your under eye, for blemishes, sometimes color correcting depending on how much coverage or how much correcting you need. Yeah, they can basically be used for everything. That's the most common kind of coverage or concealer that you would look for, and they are the ones that you can find basically everywhere. They make stick concealers, which are much thicker and not necessarily for people with oily skin. Sometimes a misconception that if you have oily skin and blemishes that you want something that's really thick and heavy, but that's going to be more likely to clog your pores and then make your situation worse. Sometimes concealers are not oil free, and that's a terrible thing too. You're going to need to kind of find a good quality keeps trying to say foundation, a good quality concealer to, correct your issues. So what you're going to need to look for first in a concealer is what you need it for. If you are looking for something that's going to fix, maybe you have dark spot issues on your face that you feel like maybe your foundation is just not going to quite cover the way you'd want it to, you're going to need to find something that is equal to your skin tone. And then that way you're not using something that you would put underneath your eyes that's maybe a shade or two lighter on your face that you're going to draw attention to your blemishes instead of conceal them. I know that they make color corrective concealers as well, and they make them in lavender and green and salmon. The salmon ones are more for dark, deep color corrective issues. And the green ones are for redness. And what other color did I say? I'm not even sure. That's fine. So yeah, and then they make concealers that have different types of applications. So I have a few concealers here that are my own personal concealers, some that work really, really well for me and some that don't work for me at all. So first up, the one that I have repurchased multiple times is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. And this is in the shade Neutralizer. This thing is disgusting and I apologize. But it has a sponge applicator on it and then you just twist it and the product comes out the top. Maybe not the most sanitary of uses, but this is probably the third or fourth one I've bought. It really lays out great coverage, and you can control, how much comes out and, where to put it. They also make them in other different shades, but I highly recommend this one, especially if you're just starting off to find concealers. It's a neutralizer. I use it for under my eyes. It can also be used on my skin because this is the same as my skin tone. So yeah, maybe we'll start off with the ones I like and then go to the ones that I don't. Alright, so this is the one that I'm wearing today. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer. And it says it's light diffusing. I didn't know that. It also says corrector in a different language in multiple different ways on the back. But this is in the shade Light Warm. I love this. It leaves great coverage, and I find that as long as I set it with my translucent powder, then I don't get wrinkly or cakey or anything underneath my eyes all day, which I think is great. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one is like an in-between. I've used almost all of it, but it was kind of out of necessity. This has the doe foot applicator on it, so it's not bendy at all, which makes it a little bit harder to put concealer on, and maybe that's why I didn't love it so much. because it's kind of hard to put something on and it's pulling on the skin and you're trying to avoid that. But yeah. So now on to the two that I have that I'm not big fans of, only because of the way that they look on me, not because of the coverage or anything like that. The skin underneath my eyes is really thin. I have dark circles, but I have lines as well. So these two products here don't work on me. This is the Hard Candy Glamouflage Heavy Duty Concealer, and let me tell you, it is heavy duty. If you don't have wrinkles underneath your eyes and you need some real coverage, honey, this is the stuff that will blow your mind. It is so thick. The application on it is a tube here, and I'm gonna show you. Look at that. It's like a poop. It really has amazing coverage. But like I said, see that? Amazing coverage. I can't wear it. It settles, it sinks in. It doesn't look pretty on me no matter what I do. I've tried using a lot. I've tried using little. It stinks because I really want to love it, but I don't. And that is the same as this little guy right here. I got this in my my Ipsy bag this month, and I was super excited to try it. It's the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. It's the full coverage anti-aging waterproof concealer with hydrocollagen, vitamins C and K. It's like beautiful. This is in the shade Neutral Medium. Again, same kind of formula. This one is a little bit more moussey, but do you see that? I really want to love you. Unfortunately, this also is way too dark. This would be a great maybe just concealer, maybe not for the under eyes because this is like my skin tone. But this was way too heavy and it oxidized. So I put it on and it changed color. Not cute. It actually made it darker than what it was, and then it just I looked in the mirror probably an hour later and my under eyes were this dark tan color. Not cute. So those are the few that I have. Like I said, I personally prefer something that is very liquidy, very light, something that's not necessarily buildable, but that has medium coverage and that it can kind of work out. I personally don't conceal my blemishes. My face used to be pretty terrible. I used to have breakouts all over. It used to be pretty bad. And my face just recently has found a niche. We found a way to combat the blemishes. I have realized that less is more for me when it comes to washing my face. And that my skin is actually really sensitive. So my face doesn't break out as bad anymore. And I feel like I'm rewarding it at this point without, by not just smearing everything on and trying to hide it. So you can still see my blemishes. I'm okay with that. Some people like to completely cover everything and layer it on and, you know, picture perfect. I'm just a little bit more realistic when it comes to my makeup. So, I think that's it. They do make cream concealers in like pots. I have never personally used them. I feel like it would be too thick for me as well, but you never know. Yeah, so let me know what you guys have for favorites for concealer. Any recommendations for me? Like I said, right now, this is my favorite. I will be repurchasing this. I'm not even close to being done with it, but I'm already kind of on the lookout. They just came out with a new foundation that's equivalent to this. It's the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation. I'm going to try that and I'm going to let you guys know how I feel about that because I love this so much. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, any comments, if I left anything out, I know this was not as detailed as the foundation one was, but I feel like concealer isn't as, like I said, it isn't as in depth as foundation is. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I will definitely make sure that I answer them. Let me know what else you guys want to see. I think maybe next time we might move on to something a little bit scarier, like eyeshadow. Because we did, maybe not. Maybe we might do blush and bronzer. I think we'll save eyeshadow for last because that's a little scary. So when I put this on my face, I make a triangle underneath my eye. So not only am I concealing, but I'm also kind of creating a highlighted area. And there you go. Oops. So you basically want to start from the inner corner of your eye and bring it down and then come out to the corners. I forgot to get my Beauty Blender damp. I will be right back. All right, I got my Beauty Blender damp, and you'll notice too after you use it a few times, before the first time you use it, it's really tiny inside the box or inside the packaging, and once you get it wet, it really expands. So when I blend my concealer, I always make sure that I pat. You don't want to pull it. You don't want to sweep it because it will wipe off the foundation underneath. And you always make sure that you go back and forth so that it doesn't, you're not setting it in the line one direction. I like to bring my foundation, my concealer up into my nose a little bit so that it kind of makes it look a little bit more flat. Allows you to not have to contour your nose as harshly. All right, so see you have one side that is blended in, one side that is not blended in. It doesn't look as scary as you think it would. My concealer is probably only a shade or two lighter than my skin tone, so you don't have this massive contrast. So now we're gonna do the other side. Be careful too with some concealers, they dry pretty quickly, and if you don't blend it in fast enough, it'll dry too thick and that won't be pretty. All right, so now I'm going to set my concealer with a powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. This stuff is absolutely fantastic. I have not used another powder underneath my eyes that doesn't set into my lines and doesn't look cakey, because that can be a problem with powder sometimes. Some people really like to bake. I'm not a big fan of it, so I just use some powder and set. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.